Let's go. Ha, ha, ha. Anytime you beat the Florida Gators, it is a great freaking day to be a Tiger fan. You, yes, you. It's an 11 a.m. game. You have all day to get out there, grill with the fam, knowing that Ty Davis Price went Leonard Fournette on the mutinous, unbelievably, inexplicably weak Florida Gators run defense. Are you kidding me? Game balls. Let's give some game balls out. Let's go on ahead and do it, baby. Marlon Martinez, number 77. Finally, we play him. Dominates. Jack Mashburn with the neck roll. Doing the dirty work, baby. Getting us that dub. Getting us that dub. Jeray Jenkins. Dwight McGlothern, Sage Ryan, Neil Farrell, Glenn Logan. How about BJ Ojolari finally firing off the ball like we know BJ Ojolari can, baby? Let's go. I don't give a flip about the next head coach at LSU. Ed Orgeron had these guys fired up and ready to go and ready to play some smash mouth football, baby. You gotta love it. Baby. So look, there's a lot, as there always is, to say about an LSU-Florida matchup. A lot. Yes, the Hail Mary was bad. Yes, the challenge was bad. Yes, the same defensive looks over and over and over was bad. And did we get lucky that Anthony Richardson, Florida's quarterback, threw two of the worst interceptions you'll ever see? Yeah, we got lucky. But I'll tell you this. We won where it counts, in the trenches. Our defensive line dominated their offensive line. And for the first time, our offensive line dominated the defensive line. I want you to ask yourself a question. When was the last time that an LSU offensive line dominated for 4 quarters against their defensive line? When was the last time? It has never happened until now. It's definitely not happened during the post-2019 era. This was the first game the offensive line dominated since South Carolina of last year, and we had more time to rest than they did. So this is obviously a good day to be an LSU Tiger fan. Obviously, there's still a lot to be said about the Ed Orgeron regime. What's going to happen now? We will see what happens, okay? So I've spoken my piece. You guys know this post-game live chat is all about you. We start with King Ulysses, and as many of you know, these everything just begins to fly in when obviously we get fired up and ready to go. So Trey with the first super chat here. I'm so happy for Damon Clark. I'm so happy for TDP. I'm so happy for the Tigers. Let's go. So yes, Ty Davis Price. Look, there's just nothing else you could say, really, huh? Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing you could say other than that was truly freaking incredible. I don't know if you'll ever see that again from TDP. It really was magical, to say the least. So, yeah, I mean, look, I feel happy for him. This is a guy that took a lot of criticism. And honestly, there's just so much you could really say about TDP. You know, for me, the big thing about Ty Davis Price is just his ability to keep cutting in the right direction. And I hate it because on Twitter, he only missed one cut in the entire game. And I tweeted out that one cut. It was in the third quarter. But still, outside of that, he was perfect. How about Marlon Martinez? Max still ain't it, got carried hard by TDP, but I'm happy. Yeah, you know what's interesting? All right, so the first thing, like we talked about during the halftime live stream, Max Johnson, look, let's be honest. Marlon Martinez, the only reason he was playing was because Jason Hines got hurt. And I don't know why LSU it keeps playing Jason Hines, especially now that Marlon Martinez played as well as he did today. And you notice Liam Shanahan played better. It wasn't great, but he still played better. And this was by far Ed Ingram's best game in quite some time. And look, you look at it, Cole Taylor also didn't play today. I don't know if he was hurt, but Jack Mashburn needs to be the starting LSU tight end from this point forward. Mashburn or Betch, just depending on what you want to do. Also, Mashburn caught a pass. And look, you go back to the spring game, Jack Mashburn got open. It was just TJ missed him a few times. So Jack's just a really good player. And remember, Jack shouldn't even be playing right now. It is that's actually Nick Storrs' role. So the fact that Jack Mashburn from Mandeville just stuck it out, he was never supposed to play. So Jack Mashburn was behind Eric Gilbert, was behind Cole Taylor, was behind Nick Storrs, behind Jack Besh, and he gets his opportunity to play. And, you just got to cheer for those guys. Those are the guys that you really got to love. Complimentary football. You always preach it, Carlos. I got to give you a lot of credit for that. And Trey, you preach it as well. See what happens when you commit to the run game. Defense with the turnovers, 3-2-6 in the run game. We beat Ole Miss. Yeah, you can't say enough good things about Dwight McGlothern in this game. And honestly, Sage Ryan and Cordell Flott. It's amazing, right? It's amazing how much talent LSU has, right? We were without 3 5-stars today, and we played our best game of the season, so you got to love it. Henry! Henry's got the national championships hat on. I like it. I think that's the 2007 national championship hat. I'm very proud about how our players played today. Very good effort in there. So much talent, even with the starters missing, plus recruiting. This will be a new coach's stream. Yeah, we'll get more into the new coach a little bit later. Bruce Feldman's report before the game that Mel Tucker out of Michigan State is starting to gain steam. And last time LSU hired a coach from Michigan State, it turned out to be great. Jay, thank you for the super chat. We go to Max here. Jay, get your question in whenever you can. Let's go to Max Kalina here. Let's go. Told you before the game that we needed to have this running game going. You are right. Max, are you in a bar in New York City watching this? Best thing about this game is the Gator tears. There's nothing like it, man. I hope from this point forward that Florida is a double-digit favorite from this point forward. Every single game, right? So I am obviously in a really good mood right now. You guys know, on this channel, we go through so much film, so much heartbreak over these past couple of seasons. Today just feels so good. And we don't have to stay up until 3 a.m. talking about this stuff. We got the whole day in front of us. So the best thing about this game, obviously, the Gator tears. You absolutely love it. And the Coach O apologists are going to come in. This still wasn't Orgeron's best game. The challenge at the end of the first half was not good. Then we kept running the same defense. We more so got bailed out by Richardson's 2 picks and the fact that TDP was running the football so effectively. It kept Florida's offense off the field. So, I actually give the LSU defense a little bit of credit as far as the total plays are concerned. Even though we had such great time of possession there in the fourth quarter, Florida still ran 75 plays, which is a lot. It really is. Let's go to Duke. The coaches didn't outcoach Florida. The players outplayed Florida. I actually agree with that. Outside of Jake Peetz, I do give Durante Jones a lot of credit, making a really bold move, not keeping Cordell Flott in the slot, moving him to the outside and putting Sage Ryan in. Also, 2 major things, 2 major coaching points. This was a bad penalty game for us. Also, Ty Davis Price played absolutely amazing. There were 2, the first one really. The first one was a close call. I thought for a half a second, he dropped the football too early before running into the end zone. So yeah, LSU's talent is way deeper than people think. And congrats to Ty Davis Price. Absolutely. But yeah, LSU's got to fix the ball dropping thing, and the Darius Jones penalty was so bad. It was so bad, and I understand it makes sense. Darius Jones is happy because he never plays, and he finally got his opportunity to play, and he does something like what he did in the game. It makes sense. I'm not mad at him. He's been sitting on the bench. The only reason he's playing is because, all our defensive backs are hurt. He makes a big play, and then he taunts. I hate it for him because, it's been so tough up to this point. But honestly, LSU's defense was able to work around it, and Damon Clark had another great game today. Yeah, you thought he dropped it early too. D from the Ville. What's good? PHL Dues. Cliff was at the game. Comment in the comment section if you were at the game. Or I'm just saying, just let me know if you were at the game. I was kind of shocked at how well it filled out. I thought people just weren't going to go. But still getting 90,000+ for the least hyped LSU Florida game of the season, pretty good. Jason Hines should never see the field again. I agree with that. I mean, look, Marlon Martinez played unbelievable. And if LSU doesn't run the same offensive line combinations, I don't know what to say. Also, I think today actually proves something, and I'm glad you brought this up, Cliff. And this is something that I've always tried to do on this channel. Okay. Eric says I was there in spirit. I love it. Here's something I would say about LSU. One thing today proved is how important concepts are compared to your actual talent on the field. So this was probably one of our more depleted rosters ever. And that even includes last year where we were playing with a skeleton roster versus Florida. And if you're a Florida Gators fan watching this, for the second straight year, you lost to one of LSU's worst teams ever with a depleted roster. So what does this tell you today? Well, two overarching things. Obviously, like C Trey right here. A dub is a dub. This was really impressive. Big Al is here, the treasurer of PHL. So this is let's go to Rob here. Hey, step back and give LSU their dues through all the season. They stepped up and played with heart. They did. This was the most physical game. Here's something that kind of pissed me off this morning, okay? Can I be honest? So College Game Day had a segment this morning. And look, I think the easy excuse is to put a lot of this on the players. I think the players have played hard. I think they just don't believe in the scheme. And College Game Day this morning kept saying, well, LSU's not playing with fight. And part of that is true. There was a lack of effort versus Kentucky. But the scheme is so bad that you as a player, it's not going to work, right? Unless, of course, you're winning. I think that was part of what happened versus Kentucky. The issue in Baton Rouge isn't the players not playing hard. Okay, some of them can get very lazy. Okay, Ed Ingram versus Kentucky, I don't know what he was doing compared to the Ed Ingram we saw today, who is going to be a 7-year pro in the NFL. There is some effort concerns, but the issues with LSU is the coaching, right? I don't know why it took Jake Pete so long to figure out that when you pull your guards and tackles, your run game is just better, okay? We weren't running counters in the first couple of games. We kept running zone, and it just doesn't work. Our offensive line can't block like that. But you notice today, you guys saw this, right? The pulling guards and the pulling tackles, okay? So for those that don't know what pulling means, it's when an offensive lineman goes behind the line of scrimmage and blocks to the other side. I think most of you know what a pull is. So LSU finally versus Mississippi State started pulling their guards, pulling their tackles, and pulling their tight ends. And today, the reason why it was so much more effective than what it was even versus Kentucky and Mississippi State, number one, Florida's defense is just soft. But number two, the more important thing is LSU did a really good job getting better players to pull, such as Jack Mashburn, Marlon Martinez, and Ed Ingram. Not only did they pull, they knocked heads. And look, I know we've been critical of TDP, and look, he has left a lot of yards out on the field, but I've always said this, okay? He's had no shot at running the football all season long. And today was the first time we actually got some good run blocking for him. So I give LSU a lot of credit. It took Jake Peets a little while to figure it out, but not only does the pulling guards and tackles really work, it also works partially because, and this is even more important, the RPO game. We throw out of it a lot. So look, LSU was without by far their best offensive player today. We had our best offensive game of the season today. So, look, talent matters. Talent is the number one reason why you win. But concepts to me are almost as important. And today, conceptually, we were a better football team, right? Sage did have a good game. Take this long to figure out? Well, I've been saying pull the guards and tackles. Let's see here. Once again, Venmo, Cash App, Super Chat. Venmo, Cash App is the preferred method because I do want to share this. I do have a surgery coming up later this week. I know I brought it up in the halftime live stream. It's not too scary, but you do anytime you go under anesthesia, it can be a little strange. Getting some teeth removed because I don't have pearly whites like you guys do. How about them Tigers? What was Sage Ryan's stats? I mean, you can make the case Sage was one of the better players on the field today. How does Logan stay in for the whole game? Was that Glenn Logan you're mentioning? I thought Glenn Logan played fine today. I really did. And it was good. We needed him, especially now that our defensive line is losing steam. But honestly, by far the best defensive lineman today was Ojulari. And he's had some rough games, since, really the McNeese game wasn't, even though he had some sacks and he was SEC defensive lineman of the week, today was the BJ Ojulari we've been waiting for. And, you guys have seen this. We've done a few film studies on BJ this season where he fires off the football a little too late. Today, he was firing off low and hard inside moves, outside moves. And it's particularly impressive because we were going up against a very mobile set of quarterbacks. So BJ Ojulari was just absolutely, just beyond fantastic. Martinez and Bradford balled out. And here's something else you really got to say about Anthony Bradford today. Is he fought through injury. He got hurt the very first play of the game. And, the bottom line is that guy is tough as nails. Let's see. Harvard, did I overlook your super chat? I'm sorry, I'm getting so much stuff. I would never overlook Carvis. I don't know why Carvis. It's not. I don't know why. I guess I didn't see it. Let me know. I hate it. It's tough as heck. Let me see. Carvis, send your question again to me. You don't have to do it in a super chat now. I talk about your comments all the time because they're so good. Let's see. Was the lack of passing today and the inaccuracy of Max due to the wind, or did they stay away? This is a good question here from Christian. Max did miss some throws today. Obviously you still can't play Nuss at this point. In this game, you just couldn't throw Nuss out there. But yeah, Max didn't have his best day today. Obviously, the throw to Jure was really good. I would be interested, and the media doesn't normally ask these types of questions, and it would be a tough question to ask now. I wonder if the final touchdown was designed to go to Jack Besh, because Jack was open, but Max decided to go backside to Jure, which was also open. Max bailed on that, and it was a risky move. But it still worked. And Dre was open. And Dre had the hot hand. So it makes a lot of sense. But also, Christian, when you're running the football as well as LSU was running the football, there's just it doesn't matter who your quarterback is. And honestly, it was just simple smash mouth football. I'm really shocked that Todd Grantham just could not figure anything out, especially considering Florida's run defense. Look, Florida only gave up 10 points to Kentucky, who ran the football down our throats. Florida slowed Alabama down. So I don't know exactly what happened. I haven't really watched much Florida this year like I did last year going into the matchup, partially because they're not that good this year. And I said this in the preview that, up to this point, they just haven't been that good. Tennessee dropped an open fourth down pass in their game, and they were able to pull away in the second half. Florida was. So and this is a really good point right here. From Christian. So, Christian, let me finish this with you. The wind, the wind did play a role, but Max still, there's a lot of work to be done there. But Carvis, you deserve your victory lap, man. You are pumping up TDP more than anyone else this offseason, and you stuck with it. You said, look, I know I was wrong about TDP, but just hold on. I got to give you a lot of credit, Carvis. You were right about it. The run blocking was ultimately the difference. Okay. Let me show some love to the treasurer of PHL. He made a really good comment here. Tony, I didn't see your last comment. Two big plays, two big penalties cost us long passing plays. Yeah, LSU really dominated this game. Florida was very lucky to have the penalties go in their favor. And it's not just the long pass plays. It was a long run by TDP before the half as well. So really, in theory, TDP had well over 300 yards because he had that BS run called back. So you may have witnessed, I know he broke the school record, but he shattered it in theory. You may have witnessed the greatest rushing performance in LSU history. So I'll give you a lot of credit for that, Carvis. Okay. I got you. So Tony wants to talk about the next head coach. All right. I was going to wait until later to do it, but my thing is this. Today doesn't change anything about Ed Orgeron's job status, partially because this game was really chaotic, right? And look, I'm a big believer in winning the game. We're all big believers in just winning the game. And LSU did win the game. However, and Ed Orgeron did make the good decision to go for it on 4th and goal. However, how you win matters. And a lot of really poor coaching decisions made this game a lot closer than it was. As a head coach, you have to have good Hail Mary defense, and you can't challenge a play that was clearly there because you lose your challenge. But honestly, I because of this, okay, Tony. All right, I got you. Because of this, $17 million, it's hard to fire a guy who just 17 million. It's hard to fire a guy who just won, especially when you got to write him a $17 million check. So this does buy Ed Orgeron a lot of time. LSU's going to have to win out or only have one loss the rest of the way for Ed Orgeron to be able to really keep his job. So yeah, we're not gonna get into the coaching chatter just yet. But if you do super chat, this is always a rule. If you want me to give you who my number one candidate is, all that stuff, if you do super chat, I'll go straight to it. Okay? Cam Lewis's fault. It wasn't just Cam Lewis's fault. Yeah, you can't just – you're right about that, Fremont. You can't just blame it on him. Jay Ward went for the interception, which never makes sense on a Hail Mary anyway. So, yeah. This is obviously a big thing right here. It's crazy how deep the wide receiver room is. Absolutely. I agree with this right here. And King Tut, welcome to the channel. Let's see. What about Florida's coaching chatter? What do you think about Mullen's hot seat? I think LSU would go after Dan Mullen if Florida decided to fire him. He's obviously really good, but this was a bad loss for him today as a 10-point favorite. So we'll see. I miss your super chat too. I don't like missing super chats. You guys know how I am about that. Lavi, ask your question again, and I'll get to it. Once again, you guys know. Okay, here we go. Woodward was on the side. No, I had it up on the screen and I didn't answer it. That's my fault. Woodward was on the sideline. I think Coach O was going to be fired after the game today if he lost. We play like this in Tuscaloosa. We may give Bama a fight. That's true, but the first step, obviously, is how do we look against Ole Miss? And I'm not going to lie. Ole Miss is a god-awful matchup for us. Now, I'll tell you this. The way Sage Ryan played today, he looked really, really good. And LSU got a little lucky that Sage Ryan, it took him a little while for him to get healthy because we have a fresh new defensive back ready to go. And Cordell Flott is still healthy. We still don't have Major Burns. So, yeah, I think the Ole Miss game could get a little ugly considering how many plays the LSU defense has had to play these last 3 weeks. Attrition is going to start setting in. But look, today goes to show you that your program is not made of any one player, okay? You should never bend rules for any certain player, okay? You should never, quote unquote, let a player decide if he wants to play offense, or you should never do that. No one player makes your team. You do need a lot of individually great players, but honestly, the most important thing to have with your talent is just concepts, right? Today, the reason why we won this game was because of a few simple concepts. The first was obviously pulling guards, right? This was something we didn't really do versus UCLA. We mostly ran outside zone concepts. So, that decision to keep doing that and keep running counter until they stopped it, and they never honestly did, is what won us this football game today. So, it's good. Also, I give Liam Shanahan a lot of credit. He did get pushed around some today, but he stood in there. Okay. Now, Law V, I have to say this once again. Obviously, Alabama's not that great this year, especially knowing how close this Florida defense dominated them in the second half of the game that they played earlier this season. Bama's probably a little overvalued, but once again, I've got to say this. Ole Miss is going to be such a rough matchup for us if we continue to play cover one with the man underneath. We're just going to get torched if we do that. A lot like we did last year, and we were still able to win. So we'll see. Sage, Mason, Neighbors, and Besh are the future. We're going to be talking about them for a lot of years. That's also pretty key. And if you are Scott Woodward, one thing that you do have to take into this equation for this next head coach is a lot of LSU's best players are younger players. So whoever the next head coach is going to be, makes LSU that much more attractive of a job when you have BTJ, Malik Neighbors, Jack Besh, probably your 3 best receivers on the team right now, and Jure, and moving forward. Now, you get Kayshawn back for a year. You get Eli Ricks back for a year. And then, obviously, Marlon Martinez. That was very encouraging. Garrett Dellinger had some good snaps today. Then, of course, you have Sage Ryan, and the list goes on and on. This is one of LSU's best, if not the best, true freshman class, especially in terms of production in their first year we've ever seen. They could be number one, right? And Deion Smith, he's hurt right now. All the freshman wide receivers look good, and we still haven't seen Chris Hilton healthy yet. 4 turnovers given up by Florida, and they still had over 400 yards on offense. Where can improvements be made on our third down defense? I'm glad you brought this up, Christian. And by the way, I feel as if before I answer this question, Christian, I feel as if we need to show some love to the man himself. I wanted to do this because he deserves it. Carvis, your guy is about to get front and center. Boom. I feel like TDP deserves more love. Let me see. Let me put this up a little bit. Boom. How does that look? I want TDP right there. Image obviously via WWL. You gotta love some TDP. Carvis, that's for you, man. You're right. Y'all know Carvis has been hammering home the TDP thing, and I was like, really? That's the man right there. Look at that. 4 turnovers given up by Florida, and they still had over 400 yards. Where can improvements be made on our third down defense? So, Christian, this was the worst defensive snap of the game. I'm about to break it down for you right now. So, Anthony Richardson got hurt. And then on 3rd and 12, they brought Emery Jones back out there. And I brought this up in the live chat, I think before or right after it happens. It was pretty clear what LSU was going to do. Run a twist up front, which they did. And then run a crossing route over the middle, which they did. That's the issue with the LSU defense is you can't be as predictable as they were. Dan Mullen called a perfect second half. His quarterback threw 2 pick sixes. We never stopped him there at the end. He threw 2 interceptions. Both were bad throws. So, let's be honest. We got very lucky that they threw the ball where they did. Give Dwight McGlothern and Damon Clark a lot of credit. Also, LSU gave up, 4 third downs on their final touchdown drive. Some of it comes down to just discipline. You need guys to make plays, but also fatigue played a huge role in this game. So, there's just no other way around it when you look at this game from home. Now let's do this right here. And let's take a look at the final stats. Okay. Talent is there for the next coach. Absolutely. So you see here, Florida actually outgained us. And we had far more penalty yards. But in real honesty, LSU's offense had more yards. BS penalties called some of those plays back, especially in the first half. But still, this was a pretty evenly, matched game on the box score. But LSU deserved to win this game. Okay, they really did. Can y'all please not yell at each other like I did? No FUs to other people. This is a friendly, family-friendly chat. Yep, TDP loves playing the Gators. And he played really well against them last year before he got hurt. And I'm not going to lie, and I know this sounds like a broken record, but he would have had a few more yards in that Florida game last year if Cole Taylor had just blocked just a little bit better. But yeah, I don't know what Cole Taylor's deal was this year. I in this game, I just think they just decided to play Jack Mashburn. Once again, I still think Cole Taylor can play in the SEC. He's just not physical enough right now. I'm proud of our secondary with their performance today. Didn't expect much, to be honest. Secondary did have a good game today, okay? You just can't taunt. Don't taunt. Mark, one of our loyal PHL viewers, even though he is an Auburn fan, shout out to you guys. A very nice upset win today. Please quit calling each other names, TRU and Reed. I I don't want to block either one of you guys because you do support the channel so much. I don't know how to mute Haley's iPad. I have no idea what's in here. Yeah, I thought the calls actually went in Florida's favor today. I really do think so. Ray, how great is Ole Miss at stopping pulling guards and headhunting tight end TDP and Kiner? Should have a big game. You would think that they would keep the ball away. Well, I'll tell you this. There's no way TDP should get 50 carries versus Ole Miss. That would be irresponsible to his body. But yeah, they're going to need Corey Kiner and Armani Goodwin back. But you know, one thing, what was really encouraging wasn't just the fact that TDP had the game that he had today. This goes back to one very simple rule, okay? And there was a deep analytic study in the NFL, Michael, on this, right? Run blocking is more important than the running back carrying the football. Very few times does a running back really move the needle, right? So like Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, there's very few backs like that, right? So as great as TDP was, the blocking was so good that Josh Williams also had a huge run at the end of this game. So, and Josh Williams is a fifth or sixth string running back, which lets you know that Corey Kiner probably just wasn't healthy for this game. So, yeah, it was really good. Jason, let's go. I was hoping we were going to get one of these big ones right here. Let's go. Let's go. Reed, please quit that. I'm asking you nicely, Reed. I don't want to have to block you out of this chat. UNTRU, please stop. All right, Jason, the $99 super chat's going to be up there. Let's go. Cliff is the president of PHL. He doesn't like all that negative talk. I'm asking y'all nicely. Please stop. Please. Okay? I don't think anyone came here to see y'all argue in the chat. Okay? And we'll talk about Lane. Here's what we'll do. Since you guys are fighting over Lane Kiffin, we'll talk about him a little bit later. Okay? Jason says big win for the Tigers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Trey is like, Trey, I'm not going to lie, Trey is one of our biggest contributors, as is Jason. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. Let's see. I got 99 problems. I like this. I got 99 problems, but TDP ain't one. Cole Taylor not make it. It really did. I'm not gonna lie. And once again, this isn't piling on Cole Taylor, but yeah, it's noticeable. Jack Mashburn is a difference maker, and he deserves a lot of credit. He deserves a game ball, because honestly, that position is really freaking hard to play, because essentially the tight end when you're playing counter is more of a fullback. Is more of a fullback than anything else. More than a wide receiver, more than even an offensive lineman. And he played amazing. And Jason, this is right on point. Take away a few penalties. This game is way out of hand. Brian Thomas is going to be a stud. How about BTJ? Toughing out that rib shot in the first half. That was huge. Okay? Oh, God dog it. Man. I don't know if I want to bring this up, but I'm going to, okay? I'm gonna bring this up. Let me do I want you guys to see this right here. This is what it's all about right here. Okay. Trust me, it's going to be well worth it. This is good. Let me see. How cool is this right here from Dre Jenkins? I know my mama proud. That was for you. I love you forever. My favorite player. You guys know how much I love Dre. You guys know how much I love Dre. That's just good to see right there. It gets me emotional, man. How does that not tug at your heartstrings? Dre Jenkins, who dropped passes. But I'll tell you this. There's a reason why I hyped Dre up all offseason. Thank you, baby.
You did have something to drink.
No, I didn't have agua.
Same difference.
Man, that's good stuff. I just get emotional when I see that, man. So Dre Jenkins, a guy that I hyped up all offseason, and dropped passes, got unseated by the freshman. Kayshawn gets hurt. But if you go back and look at like the Instagram and stuff like that, Dre Jenkins was still the guy calling up the team. Like before the game, they get in a big circle and Dre Jenkins would hold the football up. And even when he was buried in the depth chart, he never gives up. And this is why I like Dre Jenkins. And this is why I just like him in general. Nothing was ever given to him. He was a part of the 2018 recruiting class where Jamar Chase was a part of that class. Ty Davis Price was a part of that class. Okay. Jamar Chase and Terrace Marshall were a part of that class. Then Keisha Butte comes to the next class. And the list goes on and on and on. No, Keyshawn was class of 2021. So Trey Palmer and Devonta Lee came in, and Dre Jenkins just kept fighting. It's just good. Jake Peetz is definitely getting better. There's some things that I didn't like about Jake Peetz today, including the wide receiver screens. But today you saw an offensive line play a lot better, play with more confidence. We also saw today just overall the speed of how we played was better. Everything was smoother. Also, this kind of is frustrating, but the wide receiver rotation from now until the rest of the season needs to be a combination of BTJ, Malik, Deion Smith, Dre Jenkins. Dre, Malik, BTJ, Jack Besh, and when he gets healthy, Deion Smith. Trey Palmer, Devonta Lee, Coy Moore, Jontre Kirkland, all great stories. Jontre missed a catchable ball in the first half. Trey also, I think, had another drop today. And Coy Moore had a chance to make a 50-50 ball. Wasn't the best throw from Max on a third down in the second half. But that's the thing. You can have all these wide receivers get hurt and there still be so many wide receivers. At some point, you do need to crunch a rotation. Neil Farrell did have another good game. He's quietly having a really good season. They should run trap every other play. Yeah, the fourth down TD play was really good. I honestly thought Max should have thrown it to Jack Besh to the outside, but he worked backside knowing Dre would be open. So that's some good stuff. Some good stuff, man. Let me go to this here. I want to show you all this. This is obviously very interesting here. You never really get behind the scenes stuff like this, right? This is really cool. Ty Davis Price tells us LSU Director of Performance and Innovation, Jack Marucci, provided LSU with data showing which sets and schemes should set LSU up for the best success. It's very interesting. He gives Marucci a ton of credit for helping create the rushing dominance today. This is also interesting. The biggest call of the game was probably LSU's game winner on 4th and goal. Jake Peets asked Ed Orgeron if he wanted to stick with the run, and Orgeron told him to make the call. Peets went with play action and hit a wide open Jere Jenkins in the end zone with it. Very interesting. Okay. I really want to know if Max was supposed to throw that ball to Bash, or if he was, or intentionally you were supposed to work backside to Jere. That's really good. Those are two really good nuggets. Okay. This is what I like. I like getting into the behind the scenes such as this. So shout out to Jack Marucci. It's very interesting. Jack Marucci, well, he already got a raise. So Marucci was the team doctor, and then LSU promoted him to the director of performance. Yeah, exactly. So give a lot of credit. I love that right there. Please, okay. Please. I'm gonna have to make Cliff an admin, because I don't want to. Please, y'all just stop fighting. I don't want to. The thing is, I don't know how to block somebody from where I am right now because I have a new software. But I'm not going to block either one of you. I think y'all are adults. I think you guys are adults. So be an adult, okay? Lynn Logan had a big day today. I got to give him a lot of credit, Jason. You know, number one, the green hair is just cool. Okay. Glenn Logan has that nickname, the Joker, played really well. Played hard today. Okay, so we'll get into this right now. Grant says, just getting in from the game. How does this W affect O's job status? Okay. So here's the thing. All right. It's really tough to honestly say how much of a win should be attributed to a coach. Honestly, that's any coach, right? However, you have to look at a larger sample size. Ed Orgeron is 9-8 in his last 17 games. You take away the non-Power 5 games in his last 17, that makes him what? 7-8 in his last 15 games against Power 5 opposition. I thought Coach O called a really good game today. I'll say this. I think Dan Mullen did Gator Jambalaya. I like that. That actually does sound pretty good. Blake says I was there, not totally fully empty. Here's my thing, Grant. You know, I think this is obviously the big thing, right? O's job is still up in the air, and I still think he's going to lose it. But obviously, this is a step in the right direction. Still, okay, how much of today was Coach Ed Orgeron? Well, we still had a bad third quarter, okay? We had a horrible third quarter. We never stopped him in the second half. And I know Durante Jones is the guy calling the defense. The issue, though, this is a major issue, is that we never stopped them. We never stopped them in the second half. We got 2 interceptions, but we never got a stop, per se. And an interception is a stop, but those 2 picks had more to do with the quarterback making a bad throw. So today was still not a great day for Ed Orgeron in that aspect, but I give him a lot of credit. I was critical of his 4th down decision-making, going for it instead of kicking a field goal, which was smart, and allowing Jake Peets to call whatever the F play he wanted to call. Okay? Ed Orgeron could have told Jake Peets, we're running the football here. And it might have worked. It might not have worked. But he didn't. He allowed Jake Peets to have some autonomy, which is obviously really good. Jere Jenkins, baby. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna have to block both of you guys. I think there's like a timeout button. because I'm starting to see a bunch of F-bombs getting thrown. Okay. Actually, I can see it. I don't think you guys can. Okay. There we go. I could do it right there. I think Peets and Jones gets one more year to get it right. Jason, this is a really good point. Okay. Let me ask you guys this question. Okay, Jason, I'm really glad you super chatted. And let's be honest, Jason, your comments are always some of the best and most thought-provoking comments. And I really do mean that, right? And by the way, I always bring this up when Jason super chats. He took his son on a tour of Tiger Stadium. I know I bring it up every chat, but guys, if you get the opportunity to take your son to LSU football games, my dad is currently watching the chat right now. My mom is as well. It means a lot when you take your son to LSU sporting events, right? That's how I grew up. Jason takes his son to LSU sporting events. And all the fathers and mothers that are watching this, spend time with their kids, right? It's the best thing in the world. The Master Blaster is here. Okay, so here's the thing, Jason. No, let me ask a spicy question here, okay? Who do you guys think through the first, how many games have we played? 7? Through the first 7 games of the season, who has done a better job? Jake Peets or Durante Jones? Type J for Jake Peets, type D for Durante. Who has done a better job? Actually, I don't think I put up a poll question for this chat. No, I didn't. Oh my God. I am such a stupid human being. Who has done the better job? Okay. Ethan says it's a toss-up. Welcome, Ethan. Ethan, is this your first time in the chat? Let me know. Hi, Ethan. You got like a professional headshot. I like that, man. Won't be in today. I'm a photographer and I have an event today, but please, no negativity. Thank you, Black Goatee and his wife, Z. I didn't know you're a photographer. That's really cool. So always shout out to Black Goatee and his wife, D. They're always supporting with their Black Joe Burrow matching jerseys. You can't see it in the photo. Their Joe Burrow matching uniforms are like the coolest thing. They have BURREAUX. And guess what? On the back of those jerseys you guys see right there. And here's the thing. You guys might hate me for this. I want to see an all-black LSU uniform. Just one time. We can do it one time. And I'll give you my answer on the Durante Jones thing in just a second. There we go. I didn't do a poll question. So what's up with that? Okay. Well, let me get one in right here. Let me ask a super studious, deep poll question. So here's my answer. Okay. Jay, that's tough. I would say right now, man, Terrace Marshall was so good. I hope you're right. Let me answer. Let me give you a good non-answer right there. Let me just say, I hope you're right. I don't know. I mean, God, Terrace Marshall was insane. Let me answer the Jake Pete Durante Jones thing. Because Jason, that's a really good question. I think it's hard to really say because we don't actually get to hear from them in the media, and we don't actually get to see behind the scenes who you. Let me put it this way: behind the scenes, we never really get to see who actually gets to do what. Okay. Also, some of our best rushing performances do come in day games. Tony, you missed the game? How does the Master Blaster miss the game? By the way, how do we go an hour plus into this post-game chat? Booger bands. 1 for 10, 2 for 15, 3 for 20. You guys know I rock my booger band. You guys, you know you want it. Support. This is obviously a good way to support the PHL brand. Okay. Who's getting booger bands? 1 for 10, 2 for 15, 3 for 20. And like we always do in post-game chats, the first. Oh, okay. The Master Blaster had more pressing business. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. As we always do for post-game chats. Okay. The first person that gets booger bands for today, boom, gets this Joe Burrow rookie card. Who wants a Joe Burrow rookie card? Okay. And because it's the baseball playoffs, we're also giving out an Alex Bregman LSU rookie. How about that? Tony bought a Cadillac. That's why he couldn't be hanging around today. Slack attack fishing. I got you. All you got to do is Venmo or Cash App me $20 and email me your address, and you get these booger bands, and I'm hooking you up with this Joe Burrow card. Okay? You bought it with cash money? What does DJ Mangus even do? Well, I saw a few times where they actually put the camera on DJ Mangus, and he was actually calling the play. One thing I noticed was Coach O had to get permission from Woody before he was allowed to talk in his headset. Wait, what? Is that true, Jay? Coach O had to get permission from Woody before he was allowed to talk in his headset? Wait, what? My Venmo is attached to the thing, okay? Carter the Power. Boom. And by the way, Jason, I don't know if you've gotten booger bands yet, Jason. I'll send you some as well because, come on, Jason, you super chat all the time. Actually, I think Jason's already gotten his booger bands. So let me know. Shoot me a Venmo and email me your address, Power Hour LSU. Or if you're on Instagram or Twitter, I am at Carter the Power on Twitter. So there you go. I was about to take UGA. Ocho had to get permission from Woody before he was allowed to talk in his headset. I would like to know this. Not to get off topic, but what's your card channel? I'll hook you up with that info a little bit later, Mike. Let me see. Let me see if I could get the link for you really quickly. Here you go, Mike. I got it for you right here, man. All right, Reed. I'm gonna put you in. I'm gonna put both of you guys in timeout for a little bit. Okay. Cash App. That's the same thing, Blake. I'm Cash App at Carter the Power as well. Okay. Shoot me that, and then once you, Dwayne's getting some booger bands too. I like it. So if you get booger bands, shoot me an email, powerhourlsu@gmail.com, or you can shoot me a Twitter DM or Instagram DM at Carter the Power. Okay? So there you go. Them Southern Lab boys, how about it? Huh? We just need Cardell to step up now. That is cool, right? Especially considering, what Southern Lab's had so many good LSU Tigers, right? Chad Jones was Southern Lab, right? And Raheem Alim. Bands will make them dance. How about it? All right. We are putting both of you guys in timeout. We're going to do a charity fight between Louisiana and Reed. Okay, let me do this since that's taken over the chat. Who would win in a fight, Louisiana or Reed, without seeing a photo of either one of them? Who would win in a fight? You guys answer in the chat right now. Dwayne wants some booger bands. So, Dwayne, you have to shoot me an email, powerhourlsu@gmail.com, or shoot me a Twitter DM at Carter the Power, and I got you. Okay? Or an Instagram DM at Carter the Power, and I got you. So, Dwayne. Okay, Blake, you did it as well. Shoot me your address. Okay, we're running out of booger bands, guys. No, Dwayne, I got it. I got your Venmo. So, Dwayne, all you got to do now is shoot me an email, powerhourlsu@gmail.com, and I'm going to hook you up with some LSU cards as well. You think Reed has taken Louisiana? It's interesting, Michael. Obviously, the question is a joke, right? TDP is not as good as Fournette. But he finally got good run blocking, right? Like, you look at TDP's best run against Florida 2 years ago was perfect run blocking. Whichever one has that Rougarou, baby. Louisiana. All right, we're moving on. How big was this game in terms of recruiting? You know what's crazy, Caucus? I don't think the results of games matter as much as we probably think it does in recruiting, unless you get like a seismic win. So, for instance, Texas A&M beating Alabama in front of 9 million viewers, whatever the number was big for recruiting, right? But I don't think this really moves the needle as far as recruiting is concerned. I think let's look at it this way. Like Azariah Thomas, who is out of Florida, right? What is he going to change his mind now because LSU beat Florida? Maybe that would be very nice. That's obviously a big Florida target that they're after, but we'll see. Yeah, it was cool seeing Jack Johnson. Where are my banana pancake fans out there? That's deep. That's a deep cut right there. No, Jake Johnson's a really good player. Making banana pancakes. What y'all know about that Jack Johnson? Y'all don't know anything about that Jack Johnson. Yeah, I mean, it does matter, but I don't think the individual results matter as much as you possibly think it does. In other words, this win is huge for recruiting, more so for the fact that we just won. It wasn't necessarily because you beat Florida per se. Didn't get to watch a game. Did the defense blitz any? No, they didn't. That's part of the issue is Okay, this is the one defensive call that didn't make any sense. Okay, Anthony Richardson gets hurt, and Emery Jones comes off the bench. Anytime a quarterback comes off the bench, throw something exotic that you've not shown that far in the game. Okay. Instead, we ran the same exact defensive play that we always run. And so yeah, the defense is definitely going to need to blitz more, but more. The bigger thing is the defense just needs to be more unpredictable. Okay, there we go. So Blake, I have your address. Dwayne, I just need your address. Just shoot me an email. powerhourlsu@gmail.com. Yeah, the refs did keep it a lot closer than need be. So, Michael, this is obviously a really good super chat. I do think the defense needs to do a lot better job of getting off the field on third down. I think that's going to be really key. But overall, I mean, we just have to play tighter, right? I mean, that second half defensive performance was not good. When you're having to rely on interceptions, that is random. Turnovers are mostly random. So, Micah Baskerville had a very good interception, but it was because the ball was tipped up in the air. Okay. Were those picks more on us or on them? A little bit of both. Obviously, the first interception early in the game was a good play by Cordell Flott. Obviously, the interception by Dwight McGlothern and the return was really good. The last pick was on them. That was such a bad idea. But once again, it was Jaquelin Roy. And Jaquelin Roy, up the middle, had a huge play versus Kyle Trask in last year's Florida game. So the ironies of last year's Florida game, the guys that stepped up for us big were obviously Max Johnson, but Jeray Jenkins, B.J. Ojulari, Jaquelin Roy, all three of them had huge Florida games, and all three of them had huge Florida games today as well. And obviously Jeray and B.J. had by far their best performances of the season. Two guys we pumped up a lot on the channel before today was Jeray and B.J. They both were excellent today. This and obviously both of them by far having their best performances of the season. Okay.
I'm just getting one of these bottles of water because I don't want to bring the other ones in here.
Oh, baby, I still need a second one. Let's go, Jesse. What's good, man? Finally, a great football weekend. Absolutely. I got you, Blake. So Blake and Dwayne, I need your addresses. I got your address, Blake. There we go. Bugger Bands. Hey. We're actually giving addresses out now. This might actually go down. If y'all two do fight, tape it and send it to me. I need the views. Okay. All right. Reed's back in timeout. Defense balled out. I almost bet Georgia today. 17, what was it? 22 was just a little too much. I was hoping they would do like another 14-point line. It doesn't make any sense. I don't even know what the score is right now. I am interested to see what Baylor's doing versus BYU. Kentucky's driving, though. I think Baylor looks good. 5.5-point favorites. John Thompson. That's such a great name, man. Legendary name. Are those bees on your face? That's crazy. Oh, you want to take Mississippi State 17.5? This is a classic Saban blowout game. Classic Saban blowout. Do you really think a Saban team is not going to cover 17.5 versus Mississippi State? Don't go transitive property, because a lot of this is how Vegas builds their pyramids, right? A lot of people will be like, well, Mississippi State beat Texas A&M. Texas A&M beat Alabama. So Mississippi State for sure is going to cover 17.5. For sure. Huh? You don't even have to think about it. Man. Dwayne, yeah, I got your Venmo. Just shoot me an email, my guy. I did get it, so now you're going to get your booger bands. Oh, Gavin, stop. That's ignorant. Huh? That's pure ignorance. Corey Kiner would have had 500. Can we give TDP some credit? Like, I'm dead serious. Can we give him some credit? Cody! So here's the cool thing about Cody. As you can see, he actually reps his PHL merch, right? His PHL shirt, his PHL bands. I love it. Go, Tigers, go. Let's go. Let's go. Making banana pancakes. Like Wooten. And Jason, let me know if you've gotten your booger bands or not. Baylor 17, BYU 7. Thank you so much, KB. Fire all the coaches and do player-only meetings every week. Let's do it. They finally got creative in the running game today. And it honestly started versus Mississippi State. Or they started pulling guards, and then against Kentucky it worked. So there you go. Finally got creative in the running game. Good stuff. Well, if this happens, Ed Orgeron would keep his job, right? If LSU went on to win all of these games, they can lose to Ole Miss, but if they win all three of those games, Ed Orgeron would be able to. You know what's funny? This is good. It sucks to be. I can't believe I haven't done this yet. A fornicator said it sucks. By the way, shout out to Cade York. Perfect on all his extra points. Also, low key. I haven't mentioned all that much. Avery Atkins had another really good game today. Oh, you sent your address as well? Did you email it, Dwayne? Let me know. Oh, let me see. Cade was money as always. 14-7 UGA. Let's go, Wildcats. Yeah, Dwayne, I got your Venmo. Just send me your address. If we get Lane Kiffin, Walker Howard's winning 3 Heismans, I agree with that. I think Walker Howard would put up big numbers versus Lane Kiffin. Well, Natalie, What happened with your predictions? You said that LSU would lose. Well, if you listen to that prediction, you said I was picking Florida to win and cover comfortably like I did last year, just so LSU can win. Let me see. I don't think let me see. Let me check email real quick. I didn't get your email. I did not, Dwayne. That's there you go. That's the email right there. Copy and paste it and send it on over. I said it sucks to be a Florida Gator. This is a good win, though, for Ed Orgeron and LSU. And I'm happy Coach O got this W. Trust me, I'm cheering for Coach O to win every game. Life is too short. And look, this is what I don't like. I hated seeing people cheering for LSU to lose just so we would fire Orgeron, which is just silly, right? That is disrespectful to the players that are still out there. And you are an LSU fan to root for the Tigers to win, whether it's for the national championship or a meaningless game versus Central Michigan. Every single time, you should be rooting for LSU to win. Oh, Big Al. My God. Big Al, your dad jokes have been lacking lately, but finally we get a good one. I hope he has to wear asbestos pants. Biscuit. I love it. I love it. Happy Saturday to everybody. Okay. Happy Saturday. Dwayne, this is an email right here. There you go. Shoot me your address and you'll be getting some booger bands, my guy. Happy Saturday. Ref's got a bag today. Let me see. How many of you still want Coach O fired right now? I'm not talking about at the end of the season. How many of you still think Scott Woodward should do it right now? But yeah, that's the thing. DJ Critical. Is it true Davis Price now holds the record for most rushing yards in a game for LSU? Yeah. Yeah. Buys another week. Let's go. No, I'm not going to lie. It is way too beautiful of a day outside to be watching this ugly face right here. But here we are. Now, I appreciate you, Noel. Happy Saturday to everyone in the park with my son, but I wanted to show my PHL family some love. I love it, Noel. I love it. There you go. There we go. Not 4-3. Mike says, give Ed Orgeron another year. There you go, Mike. That's the point of this channel, though. These are unfiltered LSU opinions. This is cool right here. Let me show you guys this. This is a really cool TDP showing love for his daughter. I love this right here. Let me. Edo might get it. If you win out, you deserve it. So TDP closes out his career best day at the presser, noting the Brook on his eye patch. That's my daughter, and she's about to make 4 months. I love that girl so much. There you go. There you go, TDP. Feed TDP, right? Yeah, I think so too, Antonio. I think Scott's a guy that wants to wait till the end of the season anyway. I think that's his preferred method anyway. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, if it's just one of those things. Valente. I thought last week was a flash in the pan, but do you think the run game has finally come around? Let's go, Brad Davis. It was a good day for Brad Davis. Honestly, Florida's defensive line has some talent. They got Brenton Cox at linebacker. They just did not make any plays. We just went downhill and punched them in the mouth. And today was a really good day for Brad Davis. They could not stop the counters. They simply could not stop it. So Brad Davis earned all $1,600 million that his contract holds. Not that much. He makes $860K though a year, which is a lot of money. Those pulling guards and tight ends. So Valente, I do agree with that. It's just really good stuff. Let me ask you guys this question, right? And this is a question I wanted to ask a little bit earlier, but I kind of want to ask it now. Do you guys think this 2021 freshman class will be as good as the 2017 class that we talk about a lot on this channel? Type Y for yes, or let me ask you this. Do you think this 2021 class can be better than the 2017 class? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Do you think the 2021 class can be better than the 2017 class? Okay, 2017 class was Grant Delpit, Jacoby Stevens, Clyde, Justin Jefferson. I mean, those 2 first-round picks right there. Patrick Queen, Neil Farrell. That list goes on and on. Jacob Phillips was also a part of that class. Caleb Von Chason, Kerry Vincent. No, not better. It's going to be so hard for a recruiting class to ever be better than that one. Honestly, I think they'll get close. I think this is by far their best recruiting class, and it's not even close. We're only a year into it. 2019 was rough. 2018 was rough. 2020 has been kind of sort of rough. You do get Kayshawn in that class. And Eli in that class. But goodness, 2021 looks freaking amazing. And not only the fact that the class looks good, I did a lot of research on this class, and I was really high on a lot of the players coming in. It's not just that they're good, they interview well. Their body language is really good. I mean, look at Malik Neighbors. I mean, he is the first to celebrate whoever that comes to the sideline. Mason Smith going on his own diet. The character of a lot of the kids in the 2021 class. I'm not in the building. You guys know I don't like to get too carried away with the character stuff. But the character of this class is really strong, right? So, yeah, I mean, this 2021 cycle looks special. It looks like a national championship level class. Okay. Roby always wants me to talk Pelicans. Here's what we'll do, Roby. A little bit later, I'll chat some Pelicans with you because you do super chat quite a bit. So I appreciate you. So yeah, and Max is getting some reps in. I thought today was a decent performance from Max. Stat line's going to look pretty good. Let me do this. Without looking at Max Johnson's stat line, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the best and 1 being the worst, how would you rate Max Johnson's performance today? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. Okay. And by the way, if you do want to throw a subscribe, I know a few of you asked about this earlier. This is my sports card channel, football card podcast. I haven't been promoting it a lot. I wanted to make sure we got a few episodes. My co-host Andy, you guys will love it, man. 5.5. And Sip G, that's generous from you. Graylin, where have you been? Okay, let me ask you guys a question. How many of you guys want to meet up for the Arkansas game? How many of you want to do a meetup for the Arkansas game? I kind of want to do a meetup the Friday before the Arkansas game. Because Haley and I believe we are going to the Arkansas game. I see what you did there, Antonio. Nice. Yeah, Caris, I would have to give it. I would give Max a 6. You're going to be there, Marcellus? Okay, we'll definitely do a meetup. Roger says, sorry, I'm late. I had to watch one of the other LSU post-game shows instead of yours. I see how it is, Roger. I totally understand. I'm a second-class citizen. I'm kidding. I love Moscona and T-Bob. You guys know this. In particular, T-Bob, who had me on Off the Bench. That was so cool, man. Never in a million years did I think I'd be on a radio show with T-Bob, Jacob, and Matt Flynn. That was really cool, right? And you guys know how big of a Matt Flynn fan I am. Matt Flynn somehow is still underrated. T-Bob was lit. Look, those guys are, way more talented than I am. So I totally understand, Roger, why you would want to go watch them. But they both are really compelling and good at that job, good at their job. Roger says, Carter, you don't curse enough. You don't curse enough. That's the issue. Well, Roger, F you. Oh, man. IDGAF, Roger. You stupid AMF. It is stupid. And it is funny, Roger, because I do curse in my personal life, not too often. When I'm watching a game, I can. Oh, here's a good example, right? Travis! I love it, man. Travis, is this your first time in the chat? I love it, man. You got the Yankees hat on. Let me see. Got a nice beard, the shades. I love it, Travis. Welcome to the channel. But yeah, man, Off the Bench. That's just so cool, man. It's just so cool. This is where I go. I like it, man. I appreciate you. I'm just lucky that I have 100 people in here right now. I really honestly never thought we would get to do what we're doing now. Right? And that's why these super chats have been so huge, because I got to get 3 tooth. I got to get 3 teeth removed later this week. So, yeah, that sucks. I'll probably be out of commission. Hopefully, I'll be ready to go for the live streams for the Ole Miss game. I might have swollen cheeks. Yes, I do have dental surgery. And Dwayne, I got your email. So, Dwayne, your booger bands will be sent. So I like that, Mike. Mike's my kind of guy. And Mike, I shared the football card channel a minute ago. Brad Davis does deserve a lot of credit. We are a lot better in the running game. Jesse, good stuff. Roger. Okay. Roger, you did Venmo me. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. No, I honestly, I know that there's 1,000 different LSU post-game shows. I'm just one of the many. And you guys know how I feel about Jacob. Well, not Jacob's great, but T-Bob in particular. I'm telling you, we are very lucky to have T-Bob and LSU media. And I shared this with him. He called me last week. We talked for about 20 or 30 minutes. And, you know, for a former athlete to be as because here's the thing, a lot of former athletes that get into media, they don't give all that exciting of analysis. And T-Bob is just so different. And former athlete or not, really, he's just really exciting. Like I don't know how to really explain it. And look, most media members are extremely exciting. There's something very interesting about him. But T-Bob is one of the most entertaining media members. And we used to do a podcast together, and it was so fun. But yeah, it's just amazing how freaking good he is. Like I'm just blown away how freaking good he is at just any type of media. Lean on the running game for the rest of the season. I hope we have baby doll wrists for those. But you know what's funny? These booger bands are actually pretty thick. Okay. Big Al, it's just me and you. We have just thick wrist. Yeah, but Moscona is so good. I give him a lot of credit, man. I know you're a big Moscona guy, Roger. You rep the Hudco brand. Man, I need a roofing company to sponsor my channel. Haley gets mad at me because she's like, you need a channel sponsor. And I was like, hell, I need a freaking roofer. That's what I need. I need to start my own roofing company. Okay. Oh my God. Reed and TRU is getting after it. Okay, Jay has sources. Okay. Jay has sources. I live in the Shreveport area and do a lot of business with Hank Anderson. I heard O is gone regardless, and apparently Lane Kiffin is candidate number 1. You know what, Antonio? I think this is part of it as well, right? So, look, I think Jake Peets feels a certain way about Max Johnson now. So, look, we were very lucky to get the running game going the way that we did because Max Johnson does struggle on crunch time throws. Now, look, he made the big throw to Jure, but we ran the football all the way up and down the field, right? So that's it. Hey, I picked Florida too, Josh, and welcome. Let's effing go. Graylin, my new GF has monopolized my time. Okay, Max, I don't know if Max is still in here or not. I'm not talking about Max Johnson. I'm talking about Max Kalina. Okay, Max Kalina has some good advice for dealing with your significant other while watching PHL, right? So Max actually works his schedule with his girlfriend around with PHL, right? So here's the thing. Graylin, you got to work this out. Max, let me know if you're still watching. And Romeo, I'll get to your question in just a second. Okay. And Romeo, if you can retweet, I know you're active with my Twitter. If you can retweet my thing. Also, Coach O didn't have to make any field goal decisions today, which was also really nice. So Graylin, you got to have a talk with your girlfriend and say, look, because Graylin, you used to make every live chat, and you used to be in there for at least an hour. And Graylin, you got to go to your girlfriend and say, look, babe, well, it's your new GF, so I don't know if you're at the love you stage, but you need to go to her and say, look, LSU football is my blood. And there's this weird-looking, chubby Bruno Mars, monobrow, Joe Burrow loving, Jeray Jenkins loving dude that talks about LSU football, and it's all he thinks about. He has a YouTube channel, and I gotta watch it. Okay? Graylin, you got to tell your girlfriend you can't monopolize my time when I'm dealing with Power Hour LSU. Because, Graylin, you are in here with 96 other diehard LSU football fans on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Okay? Roby, I'll answer your Pelican questions a little bit later. Okay, I promise you, Roby, if you super chat at the 2-hour mark, Roby, I will answer your Pelican questions. I just can't do it right now. As I always say, when we get 2 hours deep, we'll touch on different Louisiana subjects. I know you guys have questions about the Saints and other stuff, but you guys are here for LSU football, so I give you LSU football chatter. How does Bradford looking to you? Okay, so I'm guessing you're talking about Anthony Bradford instead of Trey Bradford, who we haven't seen yet. Look, let's start with the first thing about Anthony Bradford. He's obviously really talented. 4-star prospect out of Michigan. Came in the same class as Cardell Thomas. Anthony Bradford looked really good today. First thing, he's tough as nails, right? He gets hurt on the first play of the game, and he still plays through it. The second thing, Graylin, and I think you've heard me say this before, I don't like judging offensive line play on your first watch of the game or during the live portion of the game. I think it's the absolute worst time to evaluate offensive line play because your natural inclination is to watch the ball. In order to evaluate offensive line play, and I think you guys see this on my film studies, is I have to rewind and fast forward a bunch on the film studies. And the reason why I have to do that is because it's hard to focus in on all 11 people at the same time. So I'd have to do a rewatch to give my honest view of Anthony Bradford, but he was good today. He was really good. And I know it's easy to trash him, but Austin Deculus had another good game today. Deculus is starting to play really well. Okay. Michael B. Jordan doppelganger. You know what's funny, Roger? That is my girlfriend's dream, is Michael B. Jordan. It's like Harry Styles, Michael B. Jordan. That's who it is. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan. It's crazy. It's wild to not only be the biggest actor on the planet right now, and also to have the name Michael Jordan. How much luckier are you in life? Yeah, Kayshawn, I'm glad they shut it down. No need to force anything with that. Reed put his address out there. No, Shin Chance, it sounds like you're dating an 18-year-old. No, Haley is like Harry Styles all day. It's nonstop. All right. So Haley's niece is actually over here right now. And All they talk about is Harry Styles, nonstop. Harry Styles and Michael B. Jordan, and that's it. It's a good question here from Pegasus. Is Bradford the only O-line starter coming back next year? Well, it's interesting, right? So Martinez will be back. I don't know if he's going to be the starter. Ed Ingram's going to be gone next year. Also, Deculus is going to be gone. Liam Shanahan's going to be gone. And honestly, it comes down to Chase and Hines. So, yeah, he'd be the only one coming back. Marlon Martinez had a really good day today. He really did. But once again, I need to go back into that. Braylon, replay it for her. Okay. You gotta let your girlfriend know. She can't monopolize your time. And Braylon, you live in Baton Rouge, right? And I understand Baton Rouge is a great city. Baton Rouge has grown into something even better than what it already was. Right? There's all these great restaurants now. There's a lot of good new restaurants that have opened up since I lived there. And man, it's great. But Graylin, if I do a PHL meetup for the Arkansas game, you and your girlfriend better be there. Okay? If not, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed at you. And we got to figure out this Arkansas meetup. Thank you, Romeo, for the retweet, my guy. God, I felt good getting a win. It felt so good getting a win. You say you'll be there. So we are touching 2 hours as well. Jeremy, I don't know what it's going to look like. It honestly depends on when the realignment's going to happen and how the television contracts work out. And also it comes down, Jeremy, to how the playoff format works out. Let's see. Oh, hey. Okay. And Romeo, I'll get to your question here. Everyone say hi to Richard. Okay. So this is really cool. I want to shout out, all of our viewers. We do have a lot of video viewers across the pond. And I really do mean that, right? Alex runs a really fun LSU YouTube channel who's a good friend of mine. It's cool, right, Richard? And it kind of sucks for me because I'm a big Liverpool fan, and Liverpool played their best game in quite some time this morning, and I had to miss it because it was on so early. And yeah, Richard, welcome. That's so cool. But yeah, thank you so much, Richard, for your support. I'm going to start with the Roby here. Quarterback situation next year. It's going to be Max's job to lose, but I think it's going to be open. I think LSU is going. This is going to sound strange, right? So Max Johnson clearly gives you the best chance to win games right now. But I do think it would behoove LSU to see what Garrett Nussmeier has at some point, right? I think it would behoove LSU to start Garrett Nussmeier against ULM, or at least see what you got, especially considering you have Walker Howard coming in next year. So I think as far as quarterback situation is concerned, LSU would be better served with Garrett Nussmeier getting an opportunity. This is a funny comment right here. I live 30 minutes from any restaurant. I'm drunk and hungry, and I have a prayer of using food delivery service. If you want to pay $50 for a chicken sandwich. Can you elaborate on what you said about Pete's and Max? Okay, so it's honestly pretty simple, right? Jake Peets understands that Max is very limited. So Max had a really rough start to this game. And honestly, if we never found a running game, we would have gotten blown off the field today. The second thing about this, and it's honestly, pretty simple. Max does have a tendency to get really tight in close games. Now, that doesn't mean he's not a big game performer. He's played well in big moments for the most part. It's just he does have a tendency to get nervous. You could just see it in the way that he plays. The types of throws that he misses, sometimes some of the throws he misses is due to limitations, but more often than not, it's due to him just not feeling confident. And I think that makes things a little shaky for Jake as well in the booth. TRU, please stop. Reed, please stop. I'm putting both y'all in timeout again. Let me see. I definitely. He could, DJ. That's the thing. I don't know what Miles Brennan is going to do this offseason. I still think Miles should try and come back and play this year. Even though that would burn one of his 2 remaining years, I still think he should come back and try and play. Plot twist, Myles Garrett comes back for year 15. I don't know why Myles Garrett would come back to Texas A&M. I'm kidding. I know what you meant. But yeah, Romeo, I think that's what the gist of it is. I don't think it's that Jake doesn't like Max. I just think the way Max has finished games can cause, especially a younger play caller, to get rattled. But God, that was such a good play call there at the end. Yeah, 2 years remaining for Miles. Yeah. I'll be there. All right, Roby, we are roughly 2 hours into it. You did super chat earlier. You want my thoughts on the Pelicans? Look, it's kind of weird, right? Zion is so freaking good, right? But he just can't stay healthy, and we're dealing with the foot situation. It's got some Derek Stingley vibes to it, doesn't it? It's like, always in the back of your mind when they're completely healthy, they're obviously an all-time great talent. But the second thing obviously is, well, this is obviously really key. This is going to sound strange, right? I think the Pelicans might be better off slow playing Zion into this lineup anyway, right? Of course, he's your best player, but I'd be interested to see them without Zion for the first couple of weeks, right? Shout out to Blake, giving a very generous Venmo. Thank you so much, Blake. We deeply appreciate it. God, I needed it too. Thank you so much, Blake. I appreciate it with the $25 Venmo. Yeah, they should trade everything they possibly have for Damian Lillard. And keep Trey Murphy. I'm interested to see what he's actually going to do next season. Let's get back to some LSU stuff. Blake, thank you for the super chat. He just typed along "Go Tigers" to my Venmo. I really appreciate that. So, anything you want to talk about, Blake, let me know. I love it, man. Should the Saints go after Cam? That'd be an interesting fit, right? I would say no. I would say no. I get your logic, though. I really do. Yeah, that's obviously it as well, Pegasus. It's amazing, like how much your superstar influences your ticket sales. Whereas with the Saints, if Drew Brees ever got hurt, they would still have no problem selling tickets and selling merchandise, right? It's the kind of sucky thing about the Pels. Like, I'm a fan of the team, not any certain player, but the Pelicans, for the second straight time, gets a really good number one overall pick. But it's pretty clear that that player would probably at some point like to play elsewhere. But we'll see. Been in the Smoky Mountains. Okay, so Blake wants to talk some Lane Kiffin. Thank you for the generous super chat. So Lane Kiffin is my number one candidate as well. I have a lot of reasons as to why. Arkansas was playing in the background on my computer. Obviously, I was focusing mostly on the LSU game, but I do monitor these things. Now, Sam Pittman is a really good coach. Don't get it twisted. Arkansas lost 3 straight games. They only played like just bad in one of them. They were up and down against Auburn today. But Sam Pittman is not a good fourth down decision maker. Lane Kiffin is a great play caller and decision maker on fourth down in that he is aggressive. Okay. Teams punt the football way too much, especially when they don't need to. And today, it's amazing the correlation, right? The games in which LSU makes good fourth down decisions are the games that they do normally win. And LSU made a big one today, not settling for the field goal and going for it. And Jake called a perfect play when we really needed it. Lane Kiffin is aggressive on fourth down. That is so key for me. I know it sounds like an overrated point, but here's why I think the fourth down decision making is so key. All right. And I know I'm going to get 1,000 messages saying, Carter, you put too much into it. No, I don't. Because the one thing about fourth down decision making is it is the only thing you do as a coach where you have 100% control over, right? Legit, it's one of the few things. You can call a play, the players might not run the right play. You can recruit player X, that player might not turn out to be good. You can recruit coach 0 or coach XYZ, whoever, coach might not turn out to be great. However, the decision you make whether or not to go for it or whether or not you punt always has a direct impact on the game. And it always is 100% the decision, not the actual play or the outcome. It is a mathematical decision that you can increase your win probability with every single time. Okay? Shin, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I usually don't interact with the chat, but I usually put you on and listen while driving or doing normal activities. Shin, what is this a photo of? Is this a photo of you? I like this. Huh? I like the output of live streams. It feels good to watch a game like this where the players won it. And look, and Shin, I'll continue on my Lane Kiffin comment, but and I'll go a little bit deeper into this. But to quickly answer this, I agree. Especially seeing Jeray Jenkins. We shared the tweet earlier, shouting out his mother, who passed away, and TDP winning this game for his 4-month-old daughter. Look, I could do any type of deep analytical breakdowns or film breakdowns. And for those that don't know, we do a film breakdown every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central. So we hope you come by tomorrow at 7 p.m. It's live. It's fun. Well, we do a live chat. The film study itself isn't live. But, that's what it's all about. I'm a nobody. I could be critical of the players at times. I could be critical of the coaches. Ultimately, the sport is all about two things: the players and the fans. That's it. This sport is not about me. It's not about the loudmouths like me in the sport. I like to think I'm not some hot take artist. I feel like I give the best analysis I possibly can give. But ultimately, what makes me feel good is when players get to live out their dreams like they did today. And look, what's overrated, and I go back to what Game Day was talking about. Well, the players aren't playing hard. Well, what games are you watching? Yeah, some players aren't playing with conviction. I agree with that, and there's some validity to it. But the reason why they weren't playing with conviction last week against Kentucky was because the scheme was so bad, right? So I'm just happy that these players got a win with suboptimal coaching in previous games. And today we coached better. We had a better game plan. We got punched in the mouth early, and we came out with the W. So thank you so much, Shin Chan. I really appreciate you and your support. Okay. So look, let me go back to Roby's chat. Blake. I've got to say this, right? I'm such a huge fan of Lane, though, mainly because of the fourth down decision making. Okay. Now, why is that such a big deal? Well, I saw Arkansas lose a game partially because they didn't make optimal decisions on fourth down. Okay. But did you guys watch the Clemson Syracuse game last year where two coaches, one of which has won a national championship, and another coach in Dino Babers, who makes $3.5 million a year, okay? They coached the worst fourth quarter I think I've ever seen from two experienced coaches. Both of them coached such cowardly football teams, right? Or their teams weren't cowardly. They were playing hard. Both of those coaching staffs coached that game like a bunch of cowards. They weren't playing fast, and they settled for field goals from 50 yards out. So it's so key to have a coach who's analytically sound. Okay? Yeah, they're both back in timeout. Luke Fickell wouldn't be a bad option. Okay, good question here from Pegasus. He didn't. Those were the right decisions on fourth down every time, right? I know there was one where he probably should have kicked a field goal, but the math said for him to go for it, right? Just because you don't get it doesn't mean it's not the right decision, okay? You're playing on the road at Alabama. You have to score points, whether or not it's in the second quarter or the fourth quarter, okay? And I don't remember all of it, but they were down 14-0 anyway. LSU punted the ball in a similar situation versus Kentucky, and they still got blown out. So, it was unlikely that Ole Miss was going to come back and win that game anyway. But, I agreed with Lane's fourth down decisions. Now, granted, it's wild. I think for me, though, I'm just more aggressive on fourth down. Yeah. So one of which was on a 4th and 1. Okay. You should go for it every time on 4th and 1. Every time. Okay. Some situations you shouldn't, but you should go for it. Yeah, conditional fandom sucks. But my thing is, though, I don't think trashing is one thing, but being critical of things that need to get fixed is a little bit different. But I hear you. I'm high on Mario Cristobal. Just think the online talent can finally bring in LSU. It's true. What are they? I know Oregon barely won again last night. So why doesn't Oregon play Ty Thompson? Oh, Purdue is up 17-7 on Iowa. I kind of want Iowa to win because I think their center could win the Heisman. Knowing that there's no clear-cut Heisman favorite right now. No to any West Coast guys. Blake, I'm with you, man. I'm all in on the Lane train, baby. I'm so golden. Mm. And especially knowing he's going to make as much money. I mean, Cristobal is going to make so much money this offseason anyway. I could see similarities between both of them. I really can. I'm so happy for TDP, though. He deserved this. Are you driving right now, Joel? Don't drive in PHL. You can't drive in PHL. It's too intense. I'm kidding. Florida's players are having a meltdown. Oh, Oklahoma State ended up winning. Yeah, TDP is definitely going to go to the NFL after this. And not after this game. He was going regardless. When you have that much tread on the tires, you got to go. John Emery's going to have an interesting decision to make, right? But I'll tell you this, man, Carvis. I don't know if John Emery would have had the same type of game TDP had, right? Simply because here's the thing about John Emery. I've never seen him make the game-changing type of plays in crunch time, right? That's the one thing I really like about TDP is even though TDP is not special, I give TDP a lot of credit in that he's always available. He's always available. Think about all the carries he had. So he had 64 in year one, then year two last year behind a crappy offensive line. Then year three, he takes he had 25 carries or something like that in the spring game. All the other running backs kept getting hurt. So he got a lot of the load in the spring game or just in the spring. And, he just it's hard to not root for him, right? And that's all there is to it. He's just a really solid back. And when you go back, like most of TDP's runs today was probably more of the byproduct of really good running. But God, he's good. He's just a really good back. Once again, he's not special. He's not Jeremy Hill. He's not Fournette. He's not going to make a whole lot out of nothing type of runs. But there's 10 backs every year in college football that are that good. If you give TDP good blocking, he'll make you pay. Yeah, KMC, but he's never going to be a back that's going to get drafted that high. He'll probably run like 4.5 or 4.6, and then be like a 6th or 7th round pick or undrafted guy and just play special teams. But then again, Stephen Ridley was able to last on NFL teams. Keelan Williams, same thing. So yeah, it's interesting. Darrell Williams. Exactly. There you go. No, B. Will, that's kind of the downside. Just burped of Cordell Flott playing so well. It's not that he's just playing well; he's playing phenomenal. To where now he's not only put on tape good coverage from the slot corner, he's now putting on tape good coverage as an outside corner. I would guess he would go. I would test it as well. My coach is Lane. I'm not on the Lane's my number one guy. I'll put it that way. Right. Sitting at home with my sick 4-year-old. Oh man, I'm not laughing at that. I'm just I just know so many people that watch this channel with their kids, and I just love seeing and knowing that like father and sons watch our channel. Kareem and Caden aren't in here. Jason was in here earlier. I just love that. That just makes me so happy. It really does. The urban suburban. I love it. TDP goes 5th round. You think TDP runs 4.48? His 40 is going to be very interesting, right? You think he runs sub 4.5? I mean, that's blazing. I think Jarvis Landry will not play again tomorrow. Lane is the main. Yeah, BTJ had a big game today. I haven't looked at the defensive numbers. Dang, Damon Clark, 11 tackles. Ojolari had 9 tackles today, 3 solo, 2. He'll probably get defensive lineman of the week again. I mean, that's pretty good. Huh? I would guess Pegasus. I mean, he's getting double digits every game. Last question. No, Blake, keep them coming, man. If you keep super chatting, we'll do it. What coaches on staff do you keep if you're the next head coach? It obviously depends on the coach. So take Lane, for instance. Does Lane take this job? Does Jeff Lebby come with him? I think if that does happen, Jeff Lebby will be the head coach at Ole Miss. So that could open the door for Jake Peets to still stay with Lane, which seems to be far-fetched, but probably not as much as you probably think. I think out of either of the coordinators, I think Durante would have the better shot of staying, but obviously it depends. Corey Raymond's going to get to keep his job no matter what happens. Same thing probably true for Mickey Joseph. So you should feel pretty good. More pictures. Go on ahead, man. Yeah, so I think Raymond and Joseph are probably your leaders. I also think offensive line coach is going to have a good shot. Let me see, my brain zapped that for a second. Brad Davis, he had a really good day today too. Special teams coach, I would say yes, he could keep a shop, Greg McMahon, but he is so tight with Orgeron. I could see him leaving just on his own accord. Okay, so we'll see. Yes, Dwayne, I got your email, man. Your bands will be in the mail. They will be out first thing on Monday. Cade is a true sophomore, so he's got to come back next year. Yeah, the block punt was kind of weird, right? Oh, wait, no, Cade York, is it year 2 or year 3 for Cade? No, he was a 2019 recruit. Yeah, Cade's a junior. So, yeah, he could declare, absolutely. They do have a kicker committed in Nathan Dilbert from Michigan, though. Yeah, he was on the 2019 team, so 2020, 2021. That's right. I stand corrected. So, yeah, he's a junior. That's funny, man. Let's see. Outstanding coaching from Brad Davis. Absolutely. It was a really good effort today from Brad. But look, so the first thing was blitz pickup as a whole has been better. That's been the case from day one. Brad Davis had the blitz pickup really well versus UCLA, right? All right, guys, I feel like it would be a bad omen if we didn't get Z Baby on here. So Paris asked, why can't we blitz? That's a good question. Come here. Right here. Just for a second. Just for good measure. There we go. Victor Z. Everyone say hi to Z.
Mama.
Oh my God. Look at you. Look at you.
Give that shiggy.
She don't want to give Victor a shiggy.
Mama.
She's been keeping us up so late.
Here.
All right.
Come on.
He might be.
You been bad, guys?
He's the next Justin Tucker. So I'll say this, Paris. So I get this question a lot. Why doesn't LSU blitz more? Well, it becomes a numbers issue. Okay. When you run a 4-man front, it's harder to get exotic with your blitzes, right? Simply because LSU doesn't do much zone blitzing. So the reason why LSU can't get so I know a lot of you watch Georgia's defense. Well, Georgia runs a 3-man front with a standing linebacker. So kind of like what LSU did with Kayvon Chason, you could do so much more exotic things out of a 3-man front, where LSU's 4-man front is really static and it's really traditional. Okay, so they don't stem. If they do anything, it's a twist. That's as exotic as LSU gets with their pressure concepts. So it's not good. You guys saw it today. Our defense, we did create some turnovers, but let's be honest, we have gotten lucky that we haven't played a team that doesn't have elite wide receivers yet. Kentucky had one elite wide receiver in Wan'Dale Robinson. Florida really doesn't have any playmakers on the outside. You heard Dan Mullen say it himself today. We don't have much speed on the outside. Also, the same could be said about UCLA. They don't have a lot of elite wide receivers. And the same thing is said about Auburn. So yeah, we've gotten away with running the man coverage concepts that we've run up to this point. But the bottom line is when you're in the static nature of the 4-man front, there's just not too many different blitzes you can run unless you're dropping guys out. So that's part of it. But seeing Sage play today was pretty huge. I do agree with that. This was BJ's first awesome game. It's a good question here. Could somebody tell me why Purdue is beating Iowa by 10 going into the fourth quarter? Well, it's pretty simple. Iowa doesn't have a good quarterback. That's all there is to it. So if you don't have a good quarterback, you're prone to lose some games, right? I think in order to go undefeated, especially now, you have to have a difference maker at quarterback, and Iowa simply doesn't. Exactly, Carvis. I just have a hard time believing this is the defense Durante Jones wants to run. I just have a hard time believing it. So we'll see. And that's the thing. Ole Miss, Arkansas, and Bama does. Bama absolutely does. Arkansas does as well. Ole Miss, their wide receivers are really good. They're not as good as they were last year. Just overall, the SEC wide receiver talent has gone down outside of LSU, really, just overall. He can't. Exactly, Jay. He can't, but there's been running backs in the past that don't have elite film either. Joel's doing a victory lap on his wife. Pause. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, there's nothing better. My girlfriend's an Arkansas fan. So it always feels good when we beat them. Aranda is lighting BYU up. Well, yeah, Jeff Grimes, coach there. I wonder how that game's going. Let me see. God, Arizona is so bad. They're so bad. Has Arizona even won a game yet? No. Oh, my goodness. See, I don't look at point spreads enough. Colorado was only a 6.5-point favorite at home. Oh, my God. Arizona's so bad. They're so bad. Arizona's probably the worst team in college football right now. They lost to Northern Arizona. I mean, does anyone watch the Pac-12? I mean, are they really that bad? Let's go, South Carolina. South Carolina and Vanderbilt in a barn burner. South Carolina was 19-point favorites? There's no way I would ever swallow 19 points with a bad team, but Vanderbilt is laughably bad. Kansas is still laughably bad. Okay? Kansas beat South Dakota in week 1. And since then, they've lost 49-22, 45-7, 52-33, 59-7. I don't know why. I would have definitely bet Colorado. I just don't look at the point spreads good enough. I'm telling you, Arizona is so bad. And that's a rough spot, a road game. Colorado can be a tough place to play. How many of you are sucker betting Alabama tonight? I kind of feel like taking Bama minus 17. Bama rolls tonight? Well, all right, guys. We are doing a steak dinner celebration for Haley's birthday tonight. Her birthday was actually on Thursday. Y'all want me to get Haley in here so we could sing her happy birthday? Dare's a good football player. He just is a good football player. There's no other way around it. Okay? KO, where have you been? KO, you gave me a really good compliment. And I don't remember exactly what you said, but I really appreciate it then, man. What is that, babe? Do y'all hear that? Huh? Do you hear that, sister? Is that you? Is that you out there? Huh? Huh? Let me see. I need. Wait, you had a gender reveal today? Let me see. Wait. Oh my goodness. Okay. I looked at my phone, right? Just to make sure I got all the Venmos and all the Cash Apps. But KO, for your girlfriend's brother, you went to a gender reveal instead of watching the LSU Florida game? You went to a gender reveal? Bless was like, KO. Huh? Jeff, I appreciate you. Also, Jeff, I got to shout out your avatar right here. These go on for a long time. I was here about a half an hour ago after the game. Nina, I come back, and hats off to you. That's such a bad dad joke by me. But you know what's funny, Jeff? I'm such a nerd. I not only remember this tackle by Tyrann Mathieu, I was on the field when he actually made this tackle. Okay. It was such an underrated play from the game because of what the one thing people don't get from this photo. Okay. The one thing people don't get from this photo is the guy that Tyrann Mathieu is tackling is Michael Williams. Okay. Go look him up. He was a huge tight end for Alabama. Okay. So Michael Williams was the guy that ended up getting the interception ripped away from him by Eric Reed at the goal line. So we remember Michael Williams from that play, but really this was such an impressive tackle by Tyrann Mathieu because Michael Williams is twice his size. That's like a 260-pound tight end that Tyrann Mathieu is just lighting up. But a gender reveal, first off, gender reveals are the most overrated thing I think I've ever heard of in my life. It's either a boy or a girl, okay? And then there's all these gender reveals where people die. Do you guys read about this? Gender reveals where people perish, okay? It's like they do a gender reveal where the gender announcement is a rocket flying into space and the rocket hits someone's 93-year-old grandma. I read about gender reveal deaths all the time. It's like one life coming in. We got to take someone out. Got to balance it all out. Gender reveals. What is wrong with our society? Right? You want another thing I don't like about gender reveals? This is always the thing about gender reveals. Show me a gender reveal where someone is just disappointed. Dead serious. No matter if it's a boy or a girl, people's reactions are the same thing. And their reactions are always, I can't believe it. It was a boy. I can't believe it. You can't believe it. It was a 50-50 proposition. Okay? It was a 50-50 proposition for a boy or a girl. You always hear that at every gender reveal. I can't believe it was a girl. Jared. For those that don't know, I texted Jared earlier. And he's doing some Coast Guard work today. Your first LSU Florida game you missed in 15 years, Jared. We were still able to get it done without you. What? Okay, I just saw this. They did a smoke bomb in a pumpkin for the gender reveal? Oh my God, KO. Oh my God. This is as Pottery Barn as it gets, man. Let me guess. The gender reveal, so wait, hold on. Let me go back. Glenn Logan did play well today. It was your girlfriend's brother's gender reveal. Wait, hold on. Your girlfriend's brother. Wouldn't it? Wait, hold on. Your girlfriend's. Okay, I just thought of something just crazy. Okay, so it was your girlfriend's brother's gender reveal. Okay, cool. All right. Smoke bomb and a pumpkin. What is this? Let me guess. Smoke bomb and a pumpkin. That's the craziest thing I think I've ever heard. Gender reveals are just explosions. Okay. A great team win. Absolutely, Joel. And Joel is skydiving. I like it, man. You see, the music, you got to change your avatar, Pete. You guys got to change your avatars, man. I don't like seeing just the one-letter avatars. Put an actual photo up there, okay? Make it a non-explicit photo or a non-rebel flag photo. We had that a few weeks ago, and it was awkward. Just make sure you have a photo. I don't mind the letters, but I like the photos. I like to know about your personality. I like seeing the photos, okay? But Roger, Purdue is up big on Iowa. Here's my thing about gender reveals, so that's absolutely crazy to me, right? People are excited either way, and then they said, "I can't believe it," right? But the thing that really drives me crazy about gender reveals, actually, I completely forgot what it was. No, smoke bomb inside of a pumpkin. Let me guess. Your boyfriend and girlfriend, they gotta have. Their names have to be like Tucker and Lakin, right? It has to be like, it's either your girlfriend's brother. So your girlfriend's name is probably, no, your girlfriend's brother. So the brother's name is probably like Tucker or Fletcher, and your girlfriend's brother. Okay. So the brother's name is either Fletcher, Tucker, or Chad. Okay. And then that girlfriend's name is probably like Lakin, Blakelyn, Caitlin. It's probably something like that, because a smoke bomb in a pumpkin gender reveal. Are you kidding me, KO? Hunter and Jesse. Jesse with an I. Hunter and Jesse. And I know they were rocking Vineyard Vine Fit, Sperry's boat shoe. Why isn't Damon Clark talked about more? He averages the most tackles per game in the nation. Yeah, most people don't know, LSU fan. What do you think about Damon? So this is obviously a really good question, Jeff. And let's, okay, perfect. Let's do this, okay? Isaiah, I'll never answer that question. Because that question's too hard to answer. If you super chat that question, Isaiah, I'll give you an honest answer. He wants to know who's better, Kayshawn or Jamar. Okay. All right. So Jeff, let me ask you a question. Okay. All right. Who is a better player, Jeff? Who is a better player? Is it Tim Duncan? Okay, this is going to sound crazy. All right, Jeff. Who's a better player? Is it Tim Duncan or is it Karl Anthony Towns? Okay. Who's a better player? Tim Duncan or Karl Anthony Towns? Okay. So answer that question first, Jeff, or anyone who, for you basketball fans out there. Who is a better player? Tim Duncan or Karl Anthony Towns? Okay. Music's like, okay, so what was the gender? It's a girl. It's a girl. The pink pumpkin smoke bomb. Yeah. Hunter and Jesse are probably so mad at me right now. Huh? There you go. I love it. Okay. Who is the better player? Is it Tim Duncan or Karl Anthony Towns? Okay. So, okay. Don't know much about that question. Okay. So let me use a better analogy, Jeff. All right. Who is a better player? Is it Tom Brady or is it let's use, let me see, what would be a good comparison here? Okay, let me put it this way. Who's a better player? Tom Brady or Matthew Stafford? Okay. Tim Duncan. Michael Roby, you actually know a lot about the NBA, and you're still saying Karl Anthony Towns. Okay. So who's a better quarterback? Is it Tom Brady or is it Matthew Stafford? Okay. I still can't believe someone said Karl Anthony Towns. So Jeff doesn't know a lot about the NBA. So here's the point of the analogy. Okay. Damon Clark has a lot of tackles, and he is a really solid football player. Okay. All right. So Brady. Okay. So there is a difference between making a lot of tackles and being an effective player. Okay. So Damon Clark makes a lot of good plays, but a lot of his tackles are him either chasing guys down or tackling somebody after they gain 5 or 6 yards, right? So let me ask you this question. Jeff, who's a better player, Damon Clark or Devin White? Okay. Is it Damon Clark or is it Devin White? Because if we went by tackles, it would be Damon Clark. He's tackling as well, if not more, than Devin White. Okay. But Devin White is a more effective player, right? Because he blitzes and he fills the gaps and you only get 2 yards. You don't fall forward on Devin White. Okay. So that's the big difference between the two of them. Damon Clark, number one, plays on a losing team, but number two, a lot of his tackles are just a byproduct of him being a high motor, high character, doesn't give up type of athlete. Okay. Now that doesn't mean he's bad. It's just the reason why most people don't know Damon Clark's name is, number one, linebackers just aren't as prevalent now because we throw the football so much. So think about it this way. Like, a lot of you old schoolers will remember these names. So you grew up with Brian Bosworth being a national name, Teddy Lehman being a national name, Al Wilson of Tennessee, Patrick Willis of Ole Miss. Those were household names because the game was just so much more simple. It was 44 blast and 45 blast, and the game was played between the tackles. Rolando McClain, the list goes on and on. So linebackers were more household names. It's just not the same. It's just a different game now. Okay. So, yes, Damon Clark isn't going to be like, you're not going to hear a segment where, Louis Riddick is going to be talking, or Kirk Herbstreit's going to be talking about, Damon Clark, simply because, there's a difference. Devin White made more winning, game-changing plays, okay? How many times can you count on the back of your head the amount of game-winning plays Devin White made, Okay. Devin White probably made more game-winning plays against Texas A&M than 99% of the linebackers LSU has ever had ever. I don't know why that matchup was always good for Devin White, but it was always just a deadly matchup for him. So yeah, there's just not many linebackers that are like that special where they win you football games like Devin White. I get chills thinking about Devin White because he's so much better than the second best linebacker at LSU. I think that's the biggest gap between Devin White and Brady James or whoever that number, Kevin Minter, whoever you think that second linebacker is. Devin White is just so much better than him. So, yeah, we'll see. I haven't watched much UGA. I watched the Arkansas game. But yeah. Chef Leandria. I love it, man. So, yeah, you had like Brian Bott. You had the superstar. I mean, I don't think people really remember like Peyton Manning and Al Wilson were around the same time. And Al Wilson's finally getting his flowers. I think his number got retired. Al Wilson is probably my favorite freaking linebacker ever in the SEC. Who remembers Dat Wynn of Texas A&M? That dude was a monster. I was a big Dat Wynn fan. So, yeah, there have been some linebackers that have been big stars. I mean, Manti Te'o almost won the freaking Heisman. Josh, I'm not ignoring you. What's going on, man? There's no hate in this heart. Okay, the only hate in this live stream has been Reed and Louisianimal, who it's funny. Louisianimal, Louisianimal has said 5 times in this live chat, "I'm 36," and Reed has given his address. I feel, especially since he won a big game today, I feel like I feel like it's time to share the Mike Gundy quote. "I'm a man. I'm 40." Dat Wynn. I do think Damon Clark makes it in the NFL, though. I really do. I'd be interested to see him play the standing outside linebacker role in a 3-4. Convince you to want Lane. Tell me your side. So I've already gone over the Lane Kiffin thing. I'll do this, Josh. I'll do a 10-minute diatribe on Lane Kiffin if you super chat right now, because we are getting ready to wrap this thing up. We are at exactly 69 viewers. That's a perfect time to end it. But here's what we'll do, okay? I think I shared my Lane Kiffin thing about 30 minutes backwards, so you could probably rewind on the actual YouTube. But Josh, if you super chat, I'll talk more about Lane right now, okay? So let me do this. In the next 5 minutes, give me any questions that you guys have. But you guys know the rules, right? Normally when we're getting ready to sign off, we do a super chat. See if you guys want to continue the live stream. We'll keep it going. Reed, I'm mad at you and Louisianimal. Okay, it was entertaining for some to see you guys go back and forth, but after a while, please stop it. We can't have fighting in the chat. We just can't. So I've done some studies on this. So as a YouTube, I have to do analytics. And every time someone goes back and forth in the chat like that, people do leave because it makes them uncomfortable. Some people like it because it's funny, but people do tend to leave. And I like you, Reed, and I like Louisianimal a lot too, right? So yeah. KO, you can rewind it. The chat will be up. So once again, 5-minute warning. Get any of your questions in that you guys want asked. If not, don't forget the film study tomorrow at 7. So it's simple, Josh. There's like a little $ that you can send money to the channel, or Venmo and Cash App works. You can also buy booger bands. We send LSU cards with your booger bands. So Dwayne will be getting this. Blake will be getting some LSU cards as well. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. We don't need any violence here. Right. All right, there you go, Josh. So you super chat it. Okay, good stuff, man. The booger bands are right here, T-Mill. 1 for 10, 2 for 15, 3 for 20. If you get the 3 for 20 option, you do get an LSU card with your you get LSU cards. I actually sent a few. And Dwayne got himself a Joe Burrow card right here. Okay. And Blake is going to get some good LSU cards as well. So let me share STTDB. Boo. So let's go through a few things here. Okay. First thing, Lane Kiffin. I like Lane a lot for a few reasons. The first is offensive-minded coach. So I don't want the program to falter just because one offensive coordinator leaves. So when you hire Lane, you always know you're going to be good on the offensive side of the ball, which is the more important side of the ball. Okay. I think Jake is doing a great job right now. Today was actually a better day for him. And obviously Jake is really limited. There you go, Graylin. There we go. We got a lot of girlfriends that have to watch the channel. That's fine. TRU, stop, please. Please. UN Reed, stop. So I'll continue here. So with Lane, you always know you're going to be good offensively. Okay. Does there need to be some maturation? Yes. He's active on Twitter. That's always scary. There's other outside things that Lane is interested in, such as, being the quirky guy on Twitter. You don't win national championships on Twitter. But I don't think it's so big of a deal. And I honestly have no issue with it. I don't think Lane gets into like stupid fights or anything like that on Twitter. Number 2, Lane's edgy. I like my head coaches to have a little bit of edge to him. Number 3, we know Lane can recruit. He's done a good job getting some good players in to Ole Miss. Number 4, Lane has yet to win a national championship or anything of significance. So he is really hungry to get the job done. Whereas if you get a Jimbo Fisher or anyone like that, they have their legacy's already cemented with that first title. Okay? Yeah, Jared, we're going to work on the merch soon. Me and Haley are going over a few things right now as far as our new merch company. I haven't been totally pleased with the one we're currently with, and we will probably design some new shirts. I feel like the shirts need an upgrade. But this is obviously the big thing, Josh. And I go back to it, and I know it sounds like a broken record, and I'm going to say it over and over again, but 4th down decision making. I don't like conservatism on 4th down. I hate punting. I think coaches do it way too often. I think coaches make horrible 4th down decisions, and it has a bigger impact on your program, I believe, than anything else. I really do. I really do think that. The same schools recruit at a high level. The same schools have the best resources. The schools that you think have the deepest boosters have the best boosters, okay? Your coordinators are very important. How you develop your talent, all those things are very important. But the one thing that has direct change on every single game is what you decide to do on fourth down. It is so key. It is so key. You're seeing it in the NFL right now. The best team in the NFL right now is arguably the Chargers and the Bills. They're really aggressive on fourth down. So I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you super chatting. Braylon, there you go. I appreciate you. Jared wants some koozies. Koozies? Once again, this post-game live chat goes out to our top super chatter, Jason Morgan. I don't think Jason's watching anymore. He's got kiddos. Exactly, Joel. It changes everything, man. And the thing about Ed Orgeron's decision-making on fourth down is it's a lot easier when you have Cade freaking York, and he still won't kick long field goals. But that's the thing, Josh, okay? He didn't. The math was behind him on every single fourth down decision that he made, okay? Obviously, it depends on your fourth down model, and you can't just look at math. You got to look at other circumstances. But no, that's the thing. The decision whether or not to go for it is the decision itself has no, the way you view the decision has nothing to do with the result of the decision. Okay. So here's a good example of it. Okay. Arkansas versus Ole Miss last week. Arkansas decided to go for 2 and the win on the road in a game where the defenses were playing awful, which is the right decision. You always go for 2 and the win at that. If there's less than 15 seconds in the game, you should always go for 2 and the win. Always. Okay. So Arkansas went for 2 and the win. That was the right decision, but they ran a crappy play and it didn't work. Okay. You've got to do the aggressive thing. All right. Yeah, it's still going, Law V. Somebody super chatted, so we kept it going. D. White is by far the best to play at LSU behind Burrow, in my opinion. The dude changed the culture, and Burrow continued it. Devin White is in the top 10. I don't know if I would say he's by far number 2 behind Joe. I think he's in my top 5. You know, you start getting into, you know, different discussions about Fournette. But obviously, I would say number 2 is probably either Patrick Peterson or Tyron. But Devin White, you can make a case. Ethiopia, what's good, man? It's my favorite food. It's Ethiopian food. I love it, man. True, but it worked out for everyone. If Devin White would have come back, Patrick Queen wouldn't have been a first-round pick. So, yeah, it worked out for everybody because the linebacker core that next year would have been White and Phillips. All right, guys. Don't forget, film study tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central. We'll see you there. Ed. Oh, wait, hold on. Please, guys, if you can. This is actually a good question here at the end. We can super chat, so we'll keep going. Does LSU go bowling now? I'm from Louisiana. Does LSU go bowling? Yeah, they do. Let's see. Let's look at the schedule now. So they are at, what, 4 wins now? So they need 2 more wins. God, Georgia, 30-7. How does Vegas know these point spreads so well? How do they know? Yeah, LSU goes bowling. They got 2 more wins on the schedule. Ole Miss, Bama, Arkansas, ULM. So they have to win 1 more game versus Ole Miss, Bama, Arkansas, or A&M to go bowling. They will. They will. So please go sign up for my Substack. We write a newsletter once every week. That's huge. And you get the 15 extra practices. So that's key. So go sign up for our Substack, and we'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! Stakes tonight. Let's go.